Welcome to the deep dive, where we take the sources you've shared and cut straight to the core insights.
Yeah, forget endless scrolling. We're here to unpack what really matters.
Today, we're diving headfirst into a brand new technology. It's within a Shopify app called Voice Model,
hmm
and we're specifically focusing on a feature they've named Navigate.
Exactly. So, your mission today, listener, should you choose to accept it,
Well, it's to get a solid grasp on how voice technology is sort of muscling its way into online shopping.
with a sharp focus on product discovery, right? How Navigate aims to shake that up.
Precisely. So whether you're running a business, maybe you're constantly clicking buy now, or you're just fascinated by where tech is heading. Yeah, this should give you some food for thought.
Okay.
We're looking at excerpts that detail both Navigate and the overarching voice model app.
All right, sources locked and loaded. Our goal is to figure out what makes Navigate tick, who it's designed to help, and, the bigger ripple effects it might have on our online shopping habits.
Sounds good. Okay, let's unpack this. First things first. What's the core problem? What's the pain point that Navigate is trying to fix?
Well, the source material really hits on a common frustration, doesn't it, for
Mm.
pretty much anyone who shops online.
Yeah.
It's that often clunky and, frankly, time-consuming process of actually finding what you're after.
Right. The search.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Think about, wrestling with those filter menus that never quite seem to narrow things down correctly.
Where they narrow it down too much.
Or too much, yeah. Or sifting through pages and pages of search results that aren't quite right. And then there's the added hassle of doing all this on a tiny phone screen.
Oh, the mobile experience?
Yeah, with all the constant tapping and pinching and zooming, it's friction.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well. It's like you have this perfect image in your head of what you want, but the online store just isn't speaking your language somehow.
Mhm.
And fundamentally, what we all want, as the source points out, is pretty simple, isn't it? Find the right thing fast.
Find it fast. And that's where Navigate enters the picture. It's described as a central skill within this voice model app.
A skill. Okay.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is the fundamental shift it's trying to create.
Hmm?
Instead of relying on all that clicking and typing,
Yeah.
Navigate wants to turn product discovery into, well, a conversation.
A conversation. That's a neat way to think about it. So
Mm.
instead of me scrolling through endless categories hoping I'll stumble upon what I need, I can actually just talk to the store.
Precisely. Customers can simply ask for what they're looking for using their own natural language.
Like how we're talking now.
Kinda, yeah. And Navigate is engineered to respond with relevant product suggestions, pulling directly from the Shopify store's existing inventory, its catalog. It's a much more direct and, dare I say, human way to interact.
Okay, this sounds promising. But let's get down to brass tacks. How does this actually work when someone's using it? What kind of things can you say to navigate? And, what happens then?
So the source gives some really clear examples. Imagine saying something like, I need a moisturizer for really dry skin, or maybe show me your best-selling vegan protein powders.
Right, just normal questions.
Exactly. The key is that Navigate is built to understand that everyday conversational language. It then processes that request and, fires back with product suggestions that are specifically relevant to what you just asked for.
That already sounds light years better than trying to guess which keywords a store's search engine will actually understand.
Doesn't it?
But it's not just spitting out a product name, is it? The source indicates it provides more context than that.
Exactly right. When Navigate recommends a product, it goes beyond just showing a picture and a title. It'll actually explain the key features of that product,
Okay.
highlight its benefits, and even explain how you're supposed to use it.
Ah, so the why.
Yes. The whole idea is to not just present an item, but to help you understand why it might be the right solution for your needs. And, if the store has that information available, it can even tell you the price.
Oh, nice.
The aim is really making that initial discovery to decision process as smooth as possible. Seamless, they call it.
So it's almost like having a really helpful store associate, available on demand, but in voice form.
That's a great analogy.
I can see how that would be a game changer for online stores with massive inventories where just navigating everything can feel like a treasure hunt without a map.
That's spot on. And the source even points out that this skill could be particularly impactful for Shopify stores with really large or diverse or maybe even niche product catalogs.
Like what kind of stores?
Well, think about specialized wellness products or a huge range of home goods or unique specialty foods, things where finding the right thing matters.
Gotcha.
Navigate's core mission seems to be cutting through all that digital noise and bringing clarity just by letting customers say what they need.
Now, the source does a great job of illustrating the potential of Navigate by looking at how it could help different types of shoppers. I think this really makes the benefits tangible,
The examples are helpful.
Let's start with Priya, the health-conscious researcher. Tell us about her.
Okay, so Priya is described as a nutritionist, maybe late 30s. She's very analytical, takes a cautious approach when she's buying natural health products online.
Right. Does her homework?
Definitely. Her typical shopping experience involves juggling multiple browser tabs, meticulously scrutinizing these long lists of ingredients, cross-referencing information. You get the picture.
Sounds exhausting. And like someone who really wants to know what they're putting into their body, so how does Navigate streamline that process for her?
Well, instead of all that in-depth digging, Priya can simply ask her device, something like, do you have a clean protein powder specifically formulated for women?
Okay.
And the source highlights that she could instantly receive a suggestion, complete with the key details delivered through voice. This could include info on how the protein is sourced, its main health benefits, and a clear explanation of why it's a good fit based on her specific request. Clean for women.
So the real win for Priya is that she can get that detailed, trustworthy information she needs, but in a fraction of the time.
Exactly.
And without having to wade through all that digital clutter, for someone who values thoroughness, that's a huge leap forward, isn't it?
Absolutely saves her that research fatigue.
Ah.
Okay, next up we have Carlos, the always-on small business owner.
Right, Carlos. He runs a busy coffee shop, uses Shopify to source his retail items, things to sell alongside the coffee. He's constantly juggling tasks and apparently finds traditional search interfaces, especially on his phone, a major time sink. I think a lot of small business owners can relate to that feeling.
Oh, for sure. His usual frustration is just scrolling through what feels like endless pages of listings just to find the right organic teas or coffee beans for his shop.
Man there.
But with Navigate, he can simply say, maybe while he's stocking shelves, what organic teas do you recommend for my cafe customers?
Just ask it.
Yeah. And the voice assistant can then respond with clear, relevant product options, making it much quicker and easier for him to make those purchasing decisions and get back to the, million other things he needs to do.
So for Carlos, it's all about efficiency and convenience. This voice-powered discovery fits his fast-paced lifestyle, allows him to confidently reorder supplies without getting bogged down in endless scrolling on a small screen.
Yeah.
While he's probably also managing staff and serving customers.
Exactly. It fits into the gaps. And finally, we have Janelle, who's described as a first-time online shopper.
Ah, Janelle. She's a retiree just starting to navigate the world of online shopping, and she finds it quite overwhelming.
Yeah, that is.
All the different links, confusing category structures, tiny text. It can definitely be intimidating for people who didn't grow up glued to screens.
Precisely. But when she encounters a Shopify store equipped with voice model, she can essentially bypass all that visual complexity. She could simply say something like, I need something to help with my joint pain, and Navigate could then walk her through a few suitable product options in a clear, conversational manner.
Like it's guiding her.
Exactly. It's less about navigating a website in the traditional sense and more about getting guidance in a way that feels natural and familiar, like asking a person.
So for Janelle, the real power of Navigate is that she doesn't need to understand the intricacies of e-commerce website layouts or search bars.
Nope.
She just needs to ask in plain language, making the whole online shopping experience feel much more comfortable and accessible. It really lowers the barrier to entry, doesn't it, for a significant group of people?
It really does. And these individual examples, they really underscore the diverse ways in which Navigate has the potential to improve the online shopping experience for a wide range of users.
Okay, but let's take a step back then.
Yes.
What do you see as the bigger picture significance of this kind of technology beyond these specific users?
Well, as the source touches on, at its core, Navigate seems to be about injecting clarity and maybe comfort into the online shopping process.
Clarity and comfort. Interesting.
Yeah, it's about reducing that mental effort, that cognitive load we often experience when trying to find what we need online.
Right, the frustration tasks.
Yeah, good way to put it. Instead of actively having to strategize our searches and meticulously filter results, the information can kind of come to us through a natural back-and-forth interaction.
And from the perspective of the store owner, what's in it for them?
It offers a more intelligent and, I think, personalized way to showcase their product offerings and actually connect with their customers. It's like being able to have a one-on-one conversation with each visitor, but, at scale.
Okay. Now, the source is also pretty transparent about the current capabilities or maybe limitations of Navigate. It mentions that, at least for now, it can't filter by specific price points
Right.
or search through what are called meta fields. Can you quickly explain what those are?
Sure. Meta fields are basically custom data fields that Shopify store owners can add to their products. Think really specific details beyond the standard stuff, like maybe materials, origin, specific certifications, that kind of thing.
Got it. So Navigate can't search those yet.
Not yet, according to the source. That's an important point to keep in mind. It's not designed, right now anyway, to be perfect replacement for every single existing search function.
Okay.
However, the source emphasizes what it is designed to do well. And in those initial stages of product discovery, that can be incredibly valuable. At building customer confidence, reducing friction in that early browsing phase, and turning a sort of general interest into a more meaningful connection with a specific product.
Right. So while it might not be able to filter for under $20 yet, it can guide you towards the right type of product in a much more intuitive way.
Exactly. It really circles back to that idea the source mentions, making shopping more human, simple, and guided by conversation.
Yeah. It's a real departure from the more transactional, click-heavy experiences we've kind of become accustomed to online.
And it's important to remember, Navigate isn't a standalone thing, is it?
No, right.
Wow.
It's a key component of a larger app called Voice Model.
Yeah, and the source highlights something interesting here. Despite there being over 3 million Shopify stores.
Wow, that many.
Yeah, quite a few. But the fundamental way we shop online hasn't seen a really dramatic overhaul in quite some time. We're still largely relying on that same cycle of scrolling, clicking, filtering.
Yeah, the basic mechanics haven't changed much.
Exactly. And the source poses this really thought-provoking what-if question.
What's that?
What if customers could simply articulate what they're looking for and interact with an online store as naturally as they would with a knowledgeable person in a physical shop?
Ah, that really sets the stage for the ambitious vision behind Voice Model, doesn't it?
Precisely. Voice Model is presented as a voice-first revolution,
Oh,
basically.
revolution. Okay.
Well, that's their term. With the core aim of making e-commerce more accessible, smarter, and more intuitive for everyone. It's described as the world's first AI-powered voice assistant app built specifically for Shopify retailers.
And it's developed by a Canadian team, the source mentioned.
Yeah, which is great to see. A bit of homegrown innovation.
So Navigate is one piece of this broader voice-powered puzzle. What else does Voice Model bring to the table for Shopify store owners and their customers?
So the fundamental purpose of Voice Model seems to be making Shopify stores conversational across a wider range of interactions, not just discovery.
Okay, like what else?
It enables customers to ask general questions about the store, maybe get real-time support, discover products, which is where Navigate shines, obviously inquire about discounts.
Ooh, discounts. Always good.
Always popular. And even participate in interactive brand experiences, apparently, all through the power of voice. It utilizes these specialized skills, like Navigate, to specifically address common points of friction in the typical online shopping journey.
And the emphasis is clearly on being mobile first, which makes sense, recognizing that so much of our online activity happens on our phones, where typing and navigating can be particularly cumbersome.
Absolutely.
It's like they're saying that in today's world, having a conversation can often be much more efficient and user-friendly than just a series of taps and clicks.
Yeah, conversation trumps clicks, as they put it. And the overarching goals of Voice Model really tie back into those benefits we discussed with our shopper profiles, Priya, Carlos, Janelle.
Right, accessibility and inclusion.
Exactly. Enhancing accessibility and fostering inclusion by creating online experiences that better reflect the diverse ways people naturally communicate in the real world.
Okay, so to wrap things up then, it sounds like Navigate, as a central feature within this bigger Voice Model app, represents a really compelling shift, a potential shift anyway, in how we might discover products online, moving away from those purely visual and text-based interfaces towards something much more conversational.
And potentially far more intuitive for a much wider range of online shoppers.
That's a great way to summarize it. It directly tackles those familiar frustrations of online shopping, the filtering, the scrolling,
Yeah.
and offers a more natural and hopefully engaging way for customers to find what they need, which ultimately benefits both the shoppers and the store owners, right? By creating a more seamless and ideally satisfying experience.
Definitely seems to be the goal. A win-win.
And when we look back at Priya, Carlos, and Janelle, we can really see how this technology could address their individual needs and pain points, potentially making online shopping more efficient for Carlos, more trustworthy for Priya, and just plain more accessible for Janelle. Maybe for everyone, really.
Indeed. And that brings us nicely to that final thought-provoking question posed by the source material.
Go on.
If your customers could talk to your store, what would they ask?
Hmm.
It really encourages you, the listener, to think about the possibilities, doesn't it? And the potential impact of this kind of technology, whether you're on the buying side or the selling side.
Yeah, like what kind of insights could businesses gain from those direct voice interactions? That's fascinating.
It really is. Makes you think about the future of online retail.
And it sounds like we'll be continuing to explore this evolving landscape, actually. Our next deep dive will be taking a closer look at the support skill within voice model.
Ah, so moving beyond discovery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Delving into how voice technology might be transforming customer service in the e-commerce world. So definitely stay tuned for that.